In this video, I will discuss for you the inguinal triangle. In the beginning, I want to review some information about layers or muscles of anterior abdominal wall. This muscle is called external oblique muscle. When we remove this muscle, we will find internal oblique muscle, then transversus abdominis. And on both sides of midline, this muscle is called rectus abdominis. And this muscle is enclosed in rectus sheath. After removing external oblique and internal oblique and transversus abdominis muscle, we will find this layer. This layer is called fascia transversalis. Okay, and this is inguinal ligament, lacunar ligament, pectineal ligament. This is the rectus sheath. This is the lateral border of rectus sheath here. Behind inguinal ligament, we have this artery. If we look here like this, external iliac artery, run behind inguinal ligament, continue as femoral artery. So the external iliac artery continues as femoral in thigh, in front of thigh, behind inguinal ligament at mid-inguinal point. So here, in this diagram, this is inguinal ligament. This artery is external iliac artery. External iliac. Behind fascia transversalis. And this, if you remember in previous video, this is the deep inguinal ring. The external iliac artery gives this branch from its medial side like this. This is the infero-epigastric artery. The artery run upward and immediately behind fascia transversalis, on the medial border of deep inguinal ring, and after this enter the rectus sheath by piercing fascia transversalis. So this artery is inferior epigastric artery. And it is the lateral border of rectus sheath, inferior epigastric artery, and medial half of inguinal ligament. This yellow structure is fascia transversalis. So now we have this inguinal triangle here. This is inguinal triangle. This is the boundaries of inguinal triangle like this. Inferior epigastric artery laterally, lateral border of rectus sheath medially, medial half of inguinal ligament inferiorly, the base. In the lower part of anterior abdominal wall, we have this triangle formed by lateral border of rectus sheath, inferior epigastric artery, and medial half of inguinal ligament. This is umbilicus, you see here. From umbilicus, behind fascia transversalis, there was an umbilical artery, but after birth, this artery became obliterated. So we call this obliterated umbilical artery. Okay. This artery crosses a triangle like this, behind fascia transversalis. The obliterated umbilical artery divides the inguinal triangle into a medial part and lateral part. So we know now the boundaries of inguinal triangle by lateral border of rectus sheath, inferior epigastric artery, and medial half of inguinal ligament. And this triangle is divided by this obliterated artery here, called obliterated umbilical artery. It crosses the triangle and divides the triangle into medial part and lateral part. What is the importance of dividing this triangle into medial and lateral part? We will see the following diagram like this. This is the area of inguinal triangle, remember? Arching fibers of internal oblique and transversus abdominis, which arise from the inguinal ligament. At the end of these arching fibers, we have the conjoint tendon, if you remember this. You can see a previous video to understand this. This is a conjoint tendon. So this is the inguinal triangle. This is the medial part of inguinal triangle, and that is the lateral part of inguinal triangle. Medial part is supported by conjoint tendon and fascia transversalis. Lateral part contains fascia transversalis only. So the medial part of inguinal triangle is more stronger or more supported than the lateral part of inguinal triangle, because medial part of inguinal triangle contains the conjoint tendon and fascia transversalis, while the lateral part of inguinal triangle contains only fascia transversalis. According to this, we have two types of hernias here. If you remember also, remember, this is the obliterated umbilical artery. Divide the triangle into medial part, you remember this, and lateral part. So the medial part is supported part by the conjoint tendon, the lateral part which contains only the fascia transversalis. We have two types of hernias come through this triangle. Medial, so we call hernia arise from this triangle is direct inguinal hernia, okay? We have medial direct inguinal hernia and the lateral direct inguinal hernia. Lateral direct inguinal hernia through fascia transversalis. This occurs commonly in old age, okay? Because weakness and degeneration of this area of fascia transversalis. While the medial direct inguinal hernia occurs through the conjoint tendon. But you will tell me the conjoint tendon is very strong, yes, but this only occurs when paralysis of cutting of the ilioinguinal nerve during appendectomy. So paralysis of this tendon and these muscle fibers. So weakness of this area, this occurs after appendectomy when injury of the ilioinguinal nerve. In the following video, we will discuss how the direct inguinal hernia comes through this triangle and also about the indirect hernia that comes through the deep inguinal ring.